the road to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Between FaZe and G2. Of course, we saw G2 look fantastic over on Inferno, but here on Overpass could be a different story. And well, Hugo, I mean, you know, it has been a fantastic evening for FaZe. I'll be honest with you. Overpass, could this be where things turn around?
Well, Chad seems to think so. He thinks this could be the chance for them to bounce back, especially with this being a map that G2 don't exactly prolifically play. So, yeah, maybe. I think if there was any map that they could win tonight, it would be this one, right? Because the two against Astralis, again, you're against Astralis. And the previous one, Inferno, G2 and Inferno, that's, you know, it's a pretty sizable beast to deal with. But yeah, I don't know how high my hopes are after seeing the FaZe that I've been seeing today, but let's say that there's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think FaZe is going to take this map, Hugo. I don't think this is a particularly fantastic one for G2, and it's normally a pretty good map for FaZe. One thing I will say is, at least, you know, whenever I think of a map that an AWP can have such a massive impact on, one of the maps that does spring to mind for me is Overpass. You know, I think there's so many angles for it. You know, you just kind of think about even how the map's designed. There's so many of these lengthy angles where you can just play like the tiniest little, you know, we've come to call them goblin angles, you know. Yeah. You know, reason for that, Goblin's always lurking in the shadows, always stealing the loot in the most just, you know, bizarre way possible. But anyway, Hugo, we're into this pistol round underway. Look at Smith's go. He's already gone running over towards short, and Rain has found 2 quick kills. Olaf going to be chiming in with one more. It's Existence and Body left alive. Make that just Body. 1v4. He's alone. He's inside a B. Probably a little bit cold and scared because the rest of his team, they've all died horribly.
Brutally, Harry.
Yeah, and Body, there's a man up in heaven. Sadly, Body might end up in heaven himself any second now. He's got a lot to do, and not too much to get it done with. He has armor, P250, mini raid boss at the very least, but they've got the bomb down over there towards short.
Well, right now he's stuck in purgatory in the waiting room. No one's here peeking from the FaZe side. They don't want to risk giving away this round. No point. Just guarantee the pistol, play safe. You have the bomb under control with 3 players. We see that lower wrap coming through from Karrigan. And here's where the fight will happen for Body. He's going to give it his best shot. Oh, was he spotted? Oh, well, now he certainly has been. Is going to line up 2. Doesn't go down, but finally finished off. It's actually Guardian killing his teammate, but not the end of the world there. FaZe going to pick up a pistol, Harry. And finally, a CT side start for FaZe that they desperately need. Their CT sides have been so... Oh, what's the word we're going to use? Awful today, we'll go with. But getting a pistol round is at least going to put them off to the hopeful 3-0, and then again you get a rifle round on top of that to 5-0, etc, etc. The maths continues, so maybe FaZe can have a chance here to lead this map from the beginning.
GT, they're going to get control of mid almost entirely for free. No one from FaZe peeking at us, so they're playing very, very passively here. You take a look at this, back in the bomb site, so no aggression, not risking losing anything early on. Look at it, just play the range game inside of these bomb sites. They're bunkered on down. Like some flash is going to go raining on and out towards A now as this push looks to come on through. And this is where Raid and Guardian and Co are going to get tested. Rain's holding close. He's going to fall to Smith. These pistols are going to be very, very dangerous as they get up close and personal inside of this bomb site. Man advantage gained here for the side of G2, and that bomb goes down. Smith's, he's gone ahead and found himself another with this stolen FAMAS. And now Existence going to be onto an M4 as well. This is looking like a very dangerous round here for FaZe. They know it as well. Karrigan does manage one at the very least. This retake is still on, but time is working against them here. And Karrigan continuing to charge on and continuing to try and find something. Needs the rest of his team now to follow through. Olaf able to trade, but Karrigan goes down. Now he's traded out, and it was all onto Nico. He doesn't last long. Shock's able to pick him up, and G2 going to be stealing around straight back. That's the only issue there. Whenever you do hunker back into the bomb sites like that, you play a very defensive game. When you're up against the force bow, when you're up against the pistols like FaZe were, you let them get into those close angles, you let them get into the site where they're going to be so devastating. And then we saw the weapons get juggled around, and everything just got out of hand for FaZe.
Yeah, just as we hype them up to potentially be off to this 3-0 start, they fall at the first hurdle. That is G2 knocking them down with pistols. So definitely not what you want if you're FaZe here, but they're going to continue the force by wars, Harry. They're going to give it their best go to do what has been done to them. Although Carrigan, he's just going to get done early on, killed at the start of the round by Existence there. Now the rest of G2 working their way up through long and short, and meanwhile, Rain, he's actually dropped the bomb. That was out on its own. Not the end of the world, because there are players coming in through the toilets to get rid of Rain, and Guardian cannot hold off. He's going to go down as well. So G2 retrieve control of long. They pick the bomb back up. They set their sights on the A bomb site, and rotations coming out, one on all the way on the flank and one coming through the CT spawn. So Nico, he's going to need some big old deeks here, Harry, or this round will be done.
Yeah, he needed the big deegs, but instead he gets nothing. Hugo. At least a saving grace. Olaf Meister has been allowed to retrieve this AK, and now he's going to look to try and sit on it. Can't imagine that's going to be too comfortable, but he's over here towards the fountain, backing away. G2 locking in their second round. They managed to keep it pretty clean as well. 4 players staying alive if all goes as planned. No buy for FaZe in the next. The G2 able to go ahead and not only steal the force buy, then they convert this anti-eco here. They're going to have another one in the next for a chance at an early 3-1 lead. But over on the T side, they're starting to build up some momentum early on, getting those essentially 3 free rounds. Although it's not really free because you get it on the back of your force buy. You graft for it, but still getting those 2 bonus rounds on the back of winning the force. Going to be worth its weight in gold here on the less favored side of the two.
Well, for now, FaZe just have to grit their teeth on these ecos. Only one more before they buy up fully, so that's okay, but just a... Okay, we've just been told we're taking a short technical pause because Shock spilt coke everywhere.
I mean, if it helps them play better, but, I don't condone it. I mean... wouldn't have happened if it was, wouldn't have happened if it was Mountain Dew, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've spilt my fair share of that. It absorbs much better into a mouse pad. But, yeah, I mean, sadly, he's cleaning it up. We're communicating with him as best we can, Hugo. You got any tips for removing tough stains, like Coke? Coca-Cola, by the way.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification. No, I'm very careful with my drinks. I always make sure to put the bottle cap on. I'm a big fan of water.
It was probably a can, if I'm honest with you.
Oh, that's true.
That's the impression I get.
I mean, we're drinking. Okay, yeah. No. I don't know. I'm a water drinker, Harry. So stains aren't really a problem.
I'm an air breather,
it's more
mate.
about just being wet, and then I just dry it. It's okay.
Never had to get a tough grounded stain out of anything. That's fine. Okay.
No, I exist on a diet of pure coffee and water. That is all I drink, mostly.
What solid mass do you get? Just do you eat the coffee beans or something?
Yeah, and I eat the ice. Take nice big bites.
The ice caps. That's why they're melted. Every day they're grafting away, Slowly but surely getting
Out
through
there with
them,
my
aren't you?
pick. Yeah.
Oh, get on Shocks, I mean, they're trying to keep himself refreshed. But this is how this is what happens. This is why, for me, there's like a strict no liquids apart from water in, near the frag shack, right? You just don't bother. But we're back in. That was actually pretty quick. That was pretty speedy. Don't know if he had another mouse pad on hand or what. Maybe didn't ruin too much. Who knows? We're back into this, Hugo. And here we go. G2, a chance of picking up a 3rd round. Thankfully, if Shox' mouse pad is a little bit soggy, if his mouse isn't responding great, he's at least got a round here where he's only up against pistols. So it's going to be a nice one to kind of come to terms with the new reality that is his desk setup right now.
Well, Olaf Meister, the 1 AK of FaZe here is going to be kicking things off. Plucks Kenny out of nowhere. And FaZe will start things off with a man advantage. It's one of these kind of rounds where you only have a single gun and everyone else on eco, where Olaf, he's going to need to just be a huge playmaker. He needs to make these kind of aggressive, ballsy decisions and get away with 2 kills as well. There's a trade eventually coming through from Existence, and meanwhile, Shox has crept his way into the B site, clearing out the barrels. Body, in the meantime, also doing work, trading back onto Rain. And B is under the control of G2, but they don't realize there's still a man on short. This could be a bit of a problem here, because Nico is just sitting in by the sandbags. So if they commit towards B, they will have no idea he's here. But again, with only USPs, you'd imagine G2 would make quick work of that player. In fact, Shox is even going to flank that A site instead, so this might incentivize G2 to bring the bomb back up towards A rather than B. G2 being very methodical. I mean, these two players have barely left the spawn either. Despite Shox having all this information on clear ground, he's finally going to flank Guardian and get that kill. And now it is just Nico left standing alone.
Yeah, Nico with just a USP and not really a hope in the world at this point. He knows there's guns that he would love to go and get. I think there's an AK down in mid somewhere. He's going to go looking for it, but the only issue is the Shox is still hanging around here. Ooh, he's got a good timing. Now he's got the AK as well.
Does Shox see him?
I think he did. I don't think he did. So that's going to be Nico finding that at the very least. Shox. Now that we get super handsy over there, over towards mid, does just have to... well, he goes down. But still, third round for G2. Nico able to hold on to this AK as well now from G2. Too keen on going hunting. 3-1 is going to be the scoreline, though. And now we see this first bite coming in, Hugo. What do you think we're going to be expecting to see out from this FaZe roster?
I mean, if we go back to Dust 2 earlier, maybe double ops, who knows? Although this map not really known for double op CT side setup. Very viable, though, I would say, one per site. Obviously, this map kind of lacks a traditional middle point that most maps do. That's more A short than anything. But yeah, I would imagine an AWP would come into this buy for FaZe Clan because G2 certainly have one themselves. That's going to be obviously on Kenny S. And no AWP here for FaZe. 4 rifles instead. But Nico has a little bit more money that could go a long way in the future because of that saved AK-47. So Kenny flashed off the first shot, cannot connect anything there. FaZe not getting too aggressive, though, to give him the opportunity. And now they know there's no up against them, so they have to be very careful. In fact, the rest of G2 still fully rifled up, apart from the exception of Body with the SMG. And considering the fact that 2 players on FaZe don't have a head armor, that could also be a factor to to take into account. Body just going quickly up towards the toilets. He's actually going to bypass these 2 toilet players. He could even just take the A site, and that's why we've got Karrigan rotating now, because Body has a lot of chances to just get full control over A, and they can sandwich those long players if they do exactly that. But instead, G2, they've begun their rotation, they've killed a player down on B, and this bomb's going to be coming through.
Here's Nico, though, roaring to life, going to be able to find that first kill, and you can see G2 slowing down a little bit. They have to try and commit that there's smokes raining on in, and they've used a lot of their utility now. This looks like the commitment. Molotov onto the barrels. The bomb's still not here. Nico has to try and buy time, but he's flashed back, and that's Smith's to find it. Karrigan onto Graffiti. Rotation's coming in, but Kenny S from deep down by the monster. That's going to be him picking up. The man I used to IGL this FaZe Clan roster. Now G2 poised to secure themselves a 4th. Guardian and Rain gonna have to back away, look to try and save. That's a pretty gut-wrenching round from these guys. Over for G2. Gonna be jumping with joy at this point in time. A 4-1 lead right now here on Overpass, and FaZe gonna be at the mercy of a pretty poor economy here in this next round.
A stunning start for the French. Yet to see FaZe really get on their feet since that pistol round. Still a bit of a concussion from the earlier game versus Astralis and Dust 2, maybe. Yeah, can't buy around these 2 rifles either. They've got a bit of an investment in form of pistols, some armor on Eco as well, but he's just got saved money from earlier. So by and large, Eco round coming out here from FaZe. Maybe the 2 rifles can do something and save the day here for the CT side, but I'm doubtful. The other players severely under-equipped, that being Olof and Karrigan. This makes matters far worse for FaZe Clan, and G2 already storming their way through the connector up towards B short. This is a fairly unstacked site at the time being, although that warbang is going to do a sizable bit of damage. Guardian putting Body down to 30. That's not too bad. The problem is Shox has already crept out through Monster, and Olaf's flashed off for Shox. Not getting the timing there on that quick peek, but the Molotov on the barrels will force out no one. At least it's a position that Shox won't have to clear, and Existence has found that opening kill. Now Shox tapping away, taking down Karrigan from the heaven, and Nico here with a deagle. Nice shot to start things off, but not going to be heroic enough to save the round here. Reality still striking back, and G2, this is theirs to take.
Well, one man who has been consistently putting up good performances tonight for FaZe has been Rain. He's been consistently the guy that we can look to make some impossible rounds happen. It's a 1v3 right now, but he's already backing away. He's not keen on sticking around any longer than he has to. This round going to be going the way of G2 as he looks to try and hold on to this AK into the next round where FaZe will be buying up. They'll be at the max loss bonus, so we can see the AWP board out, maybe even moving to that double AWP setup if they were feeling like it, especially if they get away with this AK. But Rain actually decides, you know what, I'm going to go back for it. I'm going to take a little peek and see what I can find. He sees a couple of guys from G2. Maybe if we see him get something now, then he could look to try and go for this. He's going to go creeping on forward. And
the
going to get blocked by the barrel of the AK there, betrayed by that weapon, that thing he was clutching to so dearly. 5-1 for G2. But now this buy comes in. I think I just saw the double AWPs there, so I think we're going to be moving into that double AWP setup from FaZe Clan over on this CT side.
At this point, yeah, go for it. Pull it in. You're getting manhandled by G2. It's not a bad time to pull out a bit of a surprise. It wasn't too effective on Dust 2, but this is a very different map, a very different team. So maybe this is where they can start to find their groove with things. Olaf and Guardian pulling them through. We've seen Nico touch it from time to time. But now back to the traditional double AWP that FaZe like to run. Nice nade early on, but won't take too much damage to shocks. Very passive setup on this B site as well. That's kind of accustomed by these double AWPs. And also by the fact that FaZe only have 2 players down on B, so they don't want to play within the site. They can't really trade effectively there, so 2 players of FaZe push all the way down long. Got anti-flash on Karrigan. And you may need it, because they're coming around the corner. No flashbang needed. Existence in with 1. Karrigan there with the trade, but Kenny keeps things in check for G2 with the man advantage. Those are 2 of the 3 A players already down and out for the count. Guardian's all that's left up on this upper bomb site, and he does have the AWP, but the problem is G2 are no longer setting their sights on long. They found the picks, they backed off, and Guardian scoped in on an empty part of the map. He needs to be aware of these toilets.
I mean, he most certainly does, because there's a couple of nasty surprises floating around over towards the toilet. Guardian backed away. Gonna try and fall back into the bank. Olaf's here with that secondary AWP, and missed shot, that's that gone. Suddenly just Nico and Guardian left alive. They have to just back away at this point in time, really. The AWP can be retrieved. Nico's looking for it. He's desperate to retrieve it. It's such a heavy investment for them. G2 going to be looking at a 6th round here. And this is such a dominant start from a team that we haven't really seen do too well on Overpass historically. FaZe, meanwhile, I was always a very big fan of them on this map. You think about the double AWP potential, you think about as well how this suits a player like Guardian so well. Chad was kind of speaking as well about how Guardian and Kenny are both 2 AWPers that you can really kind of, you really consider it being these high impact players in the mid round. We're just not seeing any of that right now. And this double AWP setup, you know, FaZe have tried to run it a couple of times today. I'll be honest, you guys, I haven't been too convinced by it any of the times that we've seen it. It feels like they put a lot of faith in it, a lot of money. I mean, what, it's $9,500 just on the guns alone. You put some armor behind that, suddenly you're up to what, $11,050. You know, it just feels so expensive, and they're getting so little done with it.
Well, let's see if maybe 1 will treat them kinder here for FaZe. They have got the buy together. Guardian's up aggressive on A long, and I feel that's what we need. Yeah, if you want to run this double AWP, play aggressive, because look at that previous round. Those AWPs were extremely passive. Olaf was down, hidden by graffiti on the B site. A Guardian was playing bank on the A site. Try and put your snipers in a position to find opening picks to get quick kills, and Guardian's done that at least for now. Will G2 expect the back angle, though? The flashbang's good, and it will force him back, so Guardian needs to be careful if he goes in for the repeat. Luckily enough, Rain is there to catch a player outside the toilets. Guardian still jump spotting. Rain flash, but he shoots through the smoke, and Smith's going to get caught in the edge of it. Kenny waiting for the jump this time. Careful, you don't want to give him that many opportunities. This is Kenny S after all, but he's not going to connect the shot.
I think slow down a bit now. G2, first time in a long time, they've had to try and play this with a few men down. Nico even going to find shots down here towards B. Well, just Kenny and Existence left alive. Over here in mid, Rain lies in wait now. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty usual just to spam this, and Rain is going to get tagged down, now forced out, but Kenny only firing the 1 bullet in, and tagged him down. Existence having to bail him out in that scenario, but then there's Guardian chiming in. This should be a FaZe round. It all falls onto 1 man, the brains behind G2, and he has a lot to do.
Doesn't have the bomb. Well, not in possession right now, but accessible. 15 seconds left. I think he's already given up with this one. He's going to go back and save that AWP. Needs to go fast. There's a flank in the connector coming through, but Nico won't be stopping him just yet. Unless he goes any further than this. Existence. Oh, yeah, he's ready for it. Nice flick. Finds the kill. No one else is close by to finish him off. And now FaZe are back on the board, Harry. They found their second round. Maybe the start of something new here for the FaZe clan. But still, this map is heavily in the favor of G2 for the time being, especially considering they've got 6 rounds on the T side of Overpass, the CT side of map. Let's see if FaZe can continue this, keep it going, or if the reset will be inevitable. G2 want to speed up the pace with the B play.
They're going to go barreling on it. It is a complete change of pace, and they're going to go into the moors of Nico and Olof. 3 kills for Nico. Olof chiming with one at the very end. It's only Existence left, and what a meat grind of a round this is. They try B, and it fails, so it's back to the drawing board now for G2. Still have plenty of money. They're going to be investing into this round, buying all everything they need, all the bells and whistles that they need for this buy. Still looking good, but that being such a quick, clean round for FaZe is now going to mean that they start to build up some money of their own, start to kind of build that buffer up against the reset, which is what we need to see if FaZe are going to recover here on Overpass.
Alternative, G2 forcing FaZe back quite a lot. The Molotov even going to party. Shox will bypass it. That stops any aggressive CT Orpus from finding early kills. So we've talked about how FaZe, you kind of need to set Guardian up to find these early frags, but G2 are denying it well with the nades. In the meantime, they sneak 2 players into B. This didn't work out last time. This could be the change they need. The problem is Olof is ready. 2 frags from him. Guardian's doing damage on the other side of the map in the meantime, and the bomb is down. G2 need to desperately pick this one back up, but there's still FaZe players up close in the smoke. Olof gets his 3rd kill of the round, and now it is just left up to Kenny S. He's got a huge clutch he needs, and I think this one's going to be too much to ask for.
Oh my goodness. Well, if any man could do it, it's Kenny. He's surfing around right now. Is he ready for this push, though, from Olof? Tries to land something in through that smoke. Olof hot on his heels. There's 45 seconds left, so Kenny's not shy on time. That bomb's down over here towards B, and Carrigan even continuing this aggression, hunting down Kenny. Kenny, oh my goodness, what a shot. He's gone ahead and found Carrigan. Now a 1v2, but surely he's not ready for Olof. He's gone aggressive as well. You would not expect this. There is absolutely no way that you anticipate Olof being here, but he just misses the timing. Kenny, 27 HP remaining, 20 seconds left on that clock, but he's too far away. At this point in time, this round is all said and done. FaZe going to be picking up a 4th, but it feels like towards the end, they started trying everything they could to give that round to Kenny.
Yeah, if he kills Olof there, if he goes around that corner and kills Olof, then that is a horrifying prospect. 25 seconds, bomb still down, accessible. Definitely could have won that round, but I mean, he didn't need to at the end of the day. It was a 1v4. He did a couple of kills. He hurt the economy of FaZe clan, brought their money down a little bit lower. But again, if you do that, you need to capitalize off of it. You can't just get 3 kills around. You need to get 3 kills around and then win a round eventually, putting FaZe down on eco. So G2 giving away a couple in a row now, going to look to get one of their own. That's FaZe's 3rd round in a row. Obviously, they got the pistol, but nothing after that, allowing G2 to run away with a 6-1 lead. And this is kind of the same story as earlier, Harry. We had G2 with a huge lead, 7-0, 8-1, whatever it was. And then it kind of did get close at one point, only for it to eventually be the map of the Frenchman. But yeah, there's always that worry that maybe FaZe could catch up once again. And so far, they're on the road to doing exactly that. G2 have realized it. They've called out a tactical pause, work out what's going wrong, and then back in with this one. Round number 11.
I mean, even if we think back to FaZe on Inferno, just moments ago when they played G2, there were a few moments where they kind of, there were quite a few rounds where it felt like they would hunt when they didn't need to, over on their CT side. Ooh, Shark's aggressive. He's going to come to regret that, though, because Rain is there. G2 once again is back to basics, back to B. All 4 players here. Body not able to find anything. The rest of the guys now pouring on through. They line up for Nico. That's the bomb dropped, and oh no, just rolls away. Smith's able to go ahead and pick that up thanks to... Olaf, never mind, going to go and drop the bomb once more, so it doesn't stay in G2's possession very long, and FaZe a very, very quick turnaround once again. For G2, I think they need to stay away from this B bomb site in the rush. I think now it's been proven that FaZe have that hold down pat.
Yeah, these monster rushes, what's that, 3 rounds in a row now? They're just not working. Olaf is locking this position down like an absolute tank. He's on 10 kills right now. He's having a field day. G2 need to realize there is another bomb site. Especially surprising when a lot of their success from the early game came on that A site as well. So it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why go down to B and start complicating things when FaZe are winning that every single time? I think G2 are going to realize the error of their ways now, but at least for this round, it is just pistols. Existence starts things off with a deagle, but for G2 to win this round, it'd be a pretty incredible feat. FaZe should have this one on lockdown. Smiths is close though. This is a good position. The problem is there's an AWP posted on his angle. That smoke is down. Guardian going to get the shot on long, dropping the bomb. Carrigan waiting on the edge of the smoke. Can cut off Smiths as well, and Guardian's not done. 2 kills there. No retrieval of the bomb for Kenny here, and Shox is all that remains for G2. Not for long, he's going to the graveyard as well. 6-6 now. FaZe have done a great job of pulling this one back, but G2 have rifles here coming into round number 13.
Yeah, already I think FaZe knowing that they've done a fantastic job of kind of making up for their earlier mistakes, getting back into this game. Because, you know, I mean, what, they were down 6-1 at one point in time, so it's been a fantastic turnaround in that regard. It was looking like this was going to be an unreal T-side half from G2, and that would have set them up very, very nicely, I think, heading into the second half. I mean, you kind of think Kenny with that AWP on the CT side, that's going to be threatening, and we already saw in Inferno, Guardian fell off quite a lot when he was trying to go for the T-side AWP. Different map, different dynamic, but still, history is known for repeating itself. Guardian over here in mid this time, trying his hand at some aggression. Rain, meanwhile, waits on the other side of this smoke. He's going to start to back away. Bomb over here towards B. G2 looking like they're considering maybe going to go back out through Monster. Molotov off the barrels. Rotations already coming in from everyone on FaZe. They're going to have a lot of people here to try and repel this offensive from G2.
Oh, Nico on top of the barrels here. Flashbang going to be good. Problem is he can't see anyone just yet. Kenny going to creep round, and he creeps to his death. Nico, very nice one-way on top of that barrels. Going to go back in for more as well. The flashbang even forces Smiths back, but he still wins the fight as it fades. Nico now dead. This gives G2 the chance, but as you said, Harry, it's been a full rotate from FaZe. They've got 3 or 4 of their players here, and one of them still in the heaven as well. So this is a bit of a battlefield on the B-bomb site. G2 still going to give it a go. They're committed at this point. 30 seconds left and utility is running dry. Smiths with another entry, and that may make this one doable. He's going to eventually fall. There's still Olaf here up on the sandbags, and he is making them mincemeat with this AK-47. Shox eventually trading. Bomb needs to be picked back up, and Guardian's all that remains. He can't hit the shots, missing 2 shots. Finally connecting one with the bomb going down. It's now the clutch for existence.
Oh, he's spotted by Guardian, though. Guardian has all the information. He's desperately trying to find him time working against Guardian here, and Existence running away. As fast as his little feet will carry him all the way over here towards short. The bomb going to be planted for it, and Guardian knows he has to try and win this fight before he gets on that bomb. He taps it. That's going to force Existence forward. That defuse hasn't come in yet, so he figures it's a fake, and Existence going to hold his own. A 7th round for G2. Finally, they're able to grind their way into that B bomb site. It's another slaughter once again with only 1 man surviving. But this time, they're able to break down the beast that is FaZe inside of B.
Existence is having a sick game right now as well. 12-6 right now, top of the board, highest kills, lowest deaths. Looking very nice for G2. That's certainly what you want. I mean, it's not like Shox and Kenny have been struggling by any means. They were playing out of their mind on Inferno. So to now have that duo and Existence chiming in, this is a good sight for G2. And again, a strong T side, right? FaZe still definitely brought it back from an early lead for G2, but fact of the matter, this is 7-6, Harry. This is a really good T-side so far, and we're not even done yet. The option for even more rounds presents itself here, as G2 could put FaZe on Eco, or at least force for that last round of the half. Uh-oh, Nico. Uh-oh. He's going to walk right through this. Ooh, this is crazy. He's going to get flashed through. Lots of footsteps. That's going to be heard. Shox doesn't care. He hears the footsteps, but he walks on by anyway, knowing that instead of getting the 1 kill for free, he can walk into the B site and maybe get even more, because Olaf is not ready, and that's a free kill for Shox. Now he even knows there's a man on the flank. So G2 have opened up the option of the bomb site, but they've got to worry about the man behind enemy lines, that being Nico.
And I tell you what, Rain's about to try and replicate that success as well. He's just pushed through that smoke up here in mid, and now it's him. He's the one in the back line of G2. Now from this position, while they're ready for Nico, while they're ready for this man in the back, they're not ready for Raid, and Nico has already opened up. Rain's playing this perfectly. Couple of footsteps here and there. Kenny does turn around. That's the bomb dropped regardless. It's at the feet of Rain. Carrigan going to chime with one more. Smith's in Existence left up, and so much to do. 2v3. Existence shuts down. Rain over here towards the toilets. Bomb's been retrieved. But Nico, this man spent so much time undercover that I'm not even sure he knows. He says only 7 seconds. He can just stop them from getting this bomb down. And here we go. Carrigan going to swing out, look to try and do it. Does manage one. The bomb goes down. Existence somehow still alive. But there's no way back into that round for him.
Man, Nico is here, there, and everywhere this round. We had him pushing through B Monster. We had him up on A long. And yeah, no way he's going to be expected there on short. A nice attempt from Existence to catch Carrigan during the reload, but it won't win them the round. That was a whole mess of a round there. G2, they managed to get themselves into the B bomb site, but still, you know, not willing to rotate down to commit to that lower B site, despite killing, was it Olof back in Graffiti?
Yeah, but I mean, the issue with that one comes is the Rain pushing through that smoke in mid, right? Even if they had tried to go back, you had a man there. The failsafe was in place. So I think a lot of it as well coming off the back of, I think it was Body down in Connector was first watching the flank. They try and get a hold of that, right? That's the only place they can rotate down towards B through. Because as far as they know, Nico's all the way back in CT spawn. So they try and clear Connector. He goes down. That whole round goes downhill from then on in, because at that point they're trapped in toilets. And with Rain pincering on in, along with Nico, that was just too much to bear.
It's forced G2 to a force, but the French with pistols, that's a very comfortable combination there for these Ts. One AK on Kenny S as well, just to spice things up. And G2 looking to potentially burst this A bomb site here. They've wormed 3 players up the connector. We've got a couple outside of B setting up fake smokes and flashbangs, but Rain is going to spot the real push. Dink onto Shocks. That nade is catastrophic. Even finds the finishing blow, and Smiths gets tagged as a result. He's just going to carry on with a MAC-10. Run and gun here, but they've got head armor, and they're not going to get taken down by that anytime soon. Body trades down to 7 HP, and Kenny S still has his rifle, but he is all that stands. The last bastion of hope here for G2 in the last round of the half, but Guardian will keep it for FaZe. 8-7, a huge comeback from FaZe considering the start of this half, but G2 should still be very happy with that.
Yeah, while G2 should be happy, I don't think there's any denying that FaZe are the victors here in the sense of, you know, recovering from a half. They were down 6-1 at one point in time. They win the pistol. G2 then go ahead and find that return with their force fire in round number 2. And then on in, they chain together a monstrous run, and it seems like FaZe are looking deflated. They don't really seem like they're in the game. They have a couple of nice rounds. They start to turn things around, and then they chain together and actually recover, fielding a very competent half, right? Especially when you consider what a dark beginning it was. Though we need to see that momentum keep up here, Hugo, in this second half, because now we have the beast that is Kenny S. He looked fantastic on Inferno. He's going to get to have the AWP out on this CT side, maybe even the potential for a double AWP setup here for G2. And then that certainly, we saw FaZe like to run it. That's going to be a little less viable moving into the T side.
We said a dark beginning for FaZe, but it could be a dark ending for a team over on the B stream. If we remember earlier, Space Soldiers were, what, 12-4 up against Astralis on that first map of their 2-mapper. Right now, it's 18-18 in overtime with those two teams on the same map of Inferno. So Astralis have done a fantastic job of pulling that back over on the B stream. What a game that is. And I mean, I'd imagine if Astralis have pulled this one so far back, I wouldn't be surprised if they take the victory here and now. But it's over on the B stream right now. This is where it really is kicking off, Harry. Second half between G2 and FaZe on their final map together here on Overpass. And we've got FaZe just taking the lead for the first time this map. So let's see what happens in the pistol round. We've got the buyout from FaZe. Fair bit of utility on them. On the side of G2, they've got a Molotov on Smiths. Now, that's rare to see on the CT pistol because of how expensive it is, $600. Let's see if it has any effect here, because we've already got FaZe fast executing this B bomb site.
Yeah, smokes, flashes, and the likes raiding in. They've already gotten by Body. Ooh, nice shot onto Olaf, but going to need more than just that if they want to win this. Retake that bomb now down, and FaZe, they can have a few seconds here to get into these afterplant positions, try and set up these crossfires. Try and make sure they have these trades open, and that flash is perfect. That allows Rain to go creeping on forward. He does tag up Kenny, doesn't find the kill in the back of it. Rain willing to take the fight, teaming up with Guardian here. Now they go walking into the crosshair of Nico, and that is picture perfect. The crossfires set up, the trades come through. That is a very, very clean round from FaZe. We need to be seeing more of that sort of Counter-Strike from this team. So that's what we're kind of used to seeing. We haven't been getting that today.
Yeah, well, one thing we have been getting is far stronger T sides than CT sides again. So, you know, FaZe now already having the lead and taking the T side pistol round is definitely a good sight for this team heading into the second half. Hopefully a lot more confidence on this roster. Now they know that they are just on the edge of taking a victory here tonight. Their first of 4 maps. G2, on the other hand, they are not fully forcing the issue. They've gone for a couple of pistols, bodies, loving some armor, but otherwise it is just flat Kevlar-less players. This is all the more enticing for FaZe Clan, as they should have a far easier job of removing these armorless players with the SMGs they're running, 3 of which, 2 of them MP5s. I wonder if we're going to see MP5s every single, you know, second and third round from now on. I'd imagine that's the case, right? They're very popular despite statistically not being anything crazy, right? They're not OP, they're not ridiculously better than the MP7, but a lot of people are liking them. Maybe it's just the honeymoon.
Yeah, maybe it's just that it's a new gun, but also, I mean, I get the impression, I don't know what there is about it. Whenever I see these guys use it, it looks like it's so accurate. But
it's
I mean,
actually not.
Yeah, I know, that's the mental thing, right? So I don't know, I don't know what that is, but I'm curious.
Weird. Seems to be working out, though.
How much is it? I always forget how much the MP5 is, because it wasn't in
I actually don't know.
play,
MP5, they decreased the price to 1,200, I want to say. Pretty sure, from 1,700.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then I can understand it. But,
I don't know if the sorry, that's the MP7. I don't know if the MP5 is the same price.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean.
Man,
yeah,
we haven't even had a chance to play CS.
Yeah, we're going too late. We're going too late. You know, we're going to get in there with Rush. He's normally the man watching the kills. He's going to be putting them up. But here we go, Hugo. You know, we can get that done later on. We've been running some strats. Speaking of strats, look at this from G2. It's actually nothing tactical about it. It's just been aim and finesse, but they've been getting the job done. Carrigan on this flank round. This is where he shuts down. Oh, gonna get wrecked, actually. So Body's found that somehow.
Accurate, by the way.
3-on-2, Nico and Rain. Nico falls. Rain 1v3, like we say. He's been the man who's consistently putting up numbers right now for FaZe. He might just clutch it out here in the 1v3. Body, 8 health to his name. He's dead in 1 bullet. Times tick down so far as well. He does paint up Rain with some damage, but this round's going the way of FaZe. Make no mistake about it. 10-7, Hugo. But they only just barely stay afloat here. Yeah,
I mean, if you're G2, you're happy at how much damage you did there in that round, right? You definitely should not have gotten away with that much. That's only the second of the half as well, so they still have another eco yet to sit on. And this is where G2 can definitely question, okay, do we force this round? Now, it would be a bad idea because FaZe still have the money. It's far easier to buy up on the T side after all, but yeah, I mean, G2 making the reserve decision. I feel like if this was the old, you know, one of the old French rosters without, well, no, prior to G2, like 2 years ago, they were definitely forcing this position, but far more drilled, and Existence will not be allowing that today, so G2 stick with this default eco. Save gun on Body, so hoping for that to shine through in this round, but FaZe are 4 AKs up and charging Gambit style up A long to this A bomb site, and there is absolutely no one here to stop them.
Yeah, there's no one with an earshot. Body has that MP5 brought forward from the previous round, but other than that, it's just these vanilla pistols for the most part. I say vanilla pistols, it's PT50s, there's a 5.7, there's a little bit into this round. Let's not write it off completely, because we saw how much damage they did in the previous. But there should be an 11th for FaZe. Man advantage gain, smoke's there, but Rain just goes ahead and shoots through it anyway. Well, Nico, in with another clear and all the close angles. Body's going to manage one, but in a second, actually. The MP5 doing the damage, an 11-7 scoreline, but now the buy comes in for the Frenchman.
Must-win round for G2 here. Double AWP, Body, and Kenny S. An unlikely combination of AWPing, but we'll see how they get it done on the CT side. We saw FaZe obviously go for the same double AWP on the previous half. Nice tag to start things off from Kenny S. Considering he didn't have armor as well, that's a very risky peak to go aggressive by the fountain, because it's so easy to nade as a terrorist. And if you don't have armor and you get double naded, you're dead. So a big risk there for Kenny, but he gets away with it with a tag and stays alive as well. Nico now been given the AWP, Bogdan's Law in effect. And Body's going to get wallbanged a little bit as well, so he doesn't exactly get off scot-free over on this B bomb site. FaZe returning some of the favor done to them early by Kenny. But A seems to be the target here for FaZe as they work their way up towards this A bomb site. Through long once again, similarly to the previous round. G2, only 2 players on this bomb site themselves. That's going to be a combination of Existence and Kenny S.
He's about to go walking into Kenny here. Shot, they know that he's there, the information's given up, and he's now going to fall off the angle. You can see Nico taking up position here. 30 seconds, leaving this one down to the wire. They're going to start to rotate down now through connector over here towards this B bomb site. It's looking like the B hit. You have the Molotov as well. You can get that onto barrels, and that there can force out the man that's there right now in the form of Smiths. Things could start to heat up for him. He's going to drop that smoke on down. Body challenge with one, but they do flush Smiths out from behind the barrel. Shox up in the heavens. 7 seconds left here, and Shox doing a great job of shutting down FaZe. The bomb all the way down in Monster. This round's all said and done, and G2 going to be picking themselves up an 8. Olaf and Kara going to try as they might. Can't find the kills, and Olaf even going to go down after the time. That only makes matters worse. Was it Olaf or was it Guardian? Sorry.
It was Olaf, but Guardian... Yeah, no, he has no money, so maybe it was Guardian. How weird. Oh no, Olaf died just there to Existence. Guardian saved. But he had no gun. I don't really know, that was a weird one.
Yeah, I thought it was Olaf who done it. And I looked, Guardian only has like no money. I'm like, okay.
Okay, this is weird. No, that's a $1,400 loss bonus.
Yeah,
so that's
it
all
adds up. Oh well,
maybe
you know,
he dropped
maybe
his
he didn't
gun.
die after the time. Maybe it was just before, or maybe he just had a bit extra cash. Who knows, Hugo?
Either way,
who knows? The point is, it's a real problem for FaZe. Tactical timeout called in now for G2. I thought I'd try and mull this one over. They know they get a little bit lucky there. The time runs down in spite of some nice shots from Shox. That's a tongue twister if you ever tried to say it. It was still, you know, it was crunch time for FaZe. They get into that bomb set at 10 seconds. It's very, very scrappy. It's very messy. It's not what we're used to seeing, you know, from like a FaZe clan pushing towards a bomb site. But
that team's a real clan of worms.
Yeah, and G2, you know, they know they get a little bit lucky there, Hugo. They don't want to repeat that again.
Yeah,
so,
and again, they know that, well, that was a very long tactical pause, but they know that FaZe won this round. It's a hard reset, right? And their money's gone. Of course, FaZe are kind of in an awkward spot economically themselves, but they can definitely buy up here and try and reset G2 onto 12 rounds, which would be a massive win for FaZe, and they're going to go for this buy, of course. Guardian on a pistol, 3 SMGs and AK. A bit of a mixed bag here for FaZe, but they're going to give it a go. And down towards the B site as well. Maybe a faster approach to this round. Smith's jump spot Schultz, but he won't spot it. In fact, he's preoccupied by the smoke down, and he wants to push on right through it. Playing on the edge of the sandbags as FaZe take control towards water. G2 with a heavy setup down on B. 3 players here, a man in heaven as well, just to make matters worse for FaZe Clan. And they are armed to the teeth. Far more than that of these SMGs as they run and gun their way into the bomb site through the smoke. Rain going to get Smiths completely bewildered there in the side. Body can't connect the shots. Finally getting one, but one is not enough when his entire team has been rifled by this FaZe Clan. Nice nade from Kenny, yes, but is it too late?
Yeah, you can see that nade's made him tempted to go for this. He does have a kit. Time is there, although he also knows that if they lose this, they've got no money into the next. They give this AWP away, and I mean, they're not going to be investing next round anyway, but it's the only way that they could assure that AWP heading forward. You imagine that plan is to partial buy maybe around it. Seeing as that reset's going to be coming in full force, they at least have that to work with into the next round. Regardless, 12-8 now in favor of FaZe. Just as a reminder, this was 6-1 at one point in time in favor of G2, so it's been quite the turnaround here.
The Space Soldier Stratus game is not updating. It still says 1818, so keep you updated on that, but maybe they're going through a bit of a technical pause at the moment. Either way, as you say, Harry. 12-8, FaZe coming in big with the reset there. We're going to see a short pause here. I'm not sure whether this is tactical or technical right now. Maybe Shox has spilled some more Mountain Dew or Coke or whatever brand of drink. Obviously Mountain Dew. The only drink. It's nice to see FaZe actually have some success tonight, Harry. It's been a bit demotivating watching this team get absolutely beat on tonight. Obviously, Astralis taking a 2-0 victory earlier on. G2 winning that previous map quite easily on Inferno as well. I kind of counted FaZe out coming into this game, especially with the start from G2. It was looking good for the Frenchmen, but especially after that reset now in the previous round, a 12-8, even with Kenny saving the AWP, things are starting to look far more strong for FaZe Clan. Couple of rounds away for victory here.
So you think as well, like they're making Kenny save that ult. You understand why they do it, but you imagine they're gonna have him try and go for some big play in this stretch. Surely that was the build up to it, because a 1v2 now, that's Kenny S. He's someone who could easily, you know, have a very good chance there. So you're gonna now be looking at him in this round to try and have a big impact, be the man finding these openers, creating the opportunities for the rest of the team with the AWP. He's taking it down here towards B, and he's gonna go creeping forward. He's looking to try and find that man advantage, create some space. He's got body with him. And there's the opener. It's actually body to get it with the Phallus. He has been hung out to dry, and Kenny goes rotating away, does swing back out and keeps things in favor of G2. So man advantage in the favor of the C2 side. This aggression from Sharks down here towards Connector. As he waits down beneath the ladder. He's going to hear the footsteps of Guardian and also the steps of Carrigan with him. He hears these players leaving B, and you can see the effect that's had. If you look on the mini-map up in the top left, you can see Smith's starting to rotate up through Connector. Kenny now up in towards the A-bomb site. Nico is already here. He's already on Optimus. He's the man who could transform this round. Wrapping round the back. He's gone ahead and found that kill onto Kenny. Existence falls as well. It's Shox and Smith left alive. Both these players flanking round. A nice shot from Shox. We're into a 2-on-2. This is still doable here for G2, but they're going to have to really grind for this win.
Oh, Smith's great angle. Better shot. Drops the bomb from Carrigan, and Nico, who was expecting these B rotates, he doesn't know that these CTs are both behind him. Shox will finish off the round, and that's going to be it. G2 will pick it up. That's all off the back of that push. That information, as you outlined there, with Shox able to call for the full rotate. Alternatively, let's say Shox doesn't go for that push. Nico's position is the most valuable in the round because he's down in the CT spawn. He's able to catch those B rotates up the stairs that are so common. But because G2 know the FaZe are coming in through the T spawn towards A, they don't want to rotate through CT spawn. They want to flank through the connector. And that's exactly what G2 will need to take that victory. So 9-12, putting FaZe on eco after all. So even though FaZe found the reset, what they did to G2 has been done back to them. It really is nothing in this round. We've got Deagles, we've got Glocks. That's it's going to be the full array of weaponry here for FaZe.
For FaZe, this could be their first map picked up tonight. Of course, it's been a pretty disappointing string of results for them this evening, losing 0-2 to Astralis, losing that first map on Inferno versus G2. The lead that they have here starting to slip away from them a little bit, especially with just being pistols in this round. You imagine this is where G2 find themselves attempt, unless we see some real heroics. And these Deags, these Force Spies have been pretty good for FaZe for the most part. Existence holding his own, and look at him go. He's fragging up a storm. This round's all said and done. 10-12. This is the score in the server. 2 rounds between these teams. This has been a very, very back and forth game. We haven't had too many close games today, Hugo, but this is certainly shaping up to be one of them.
That's indeed the case, Harry. But yeah, it looked like FaZe were ready to close out this game two or so rounds ago, but this counter... well, not counter force, but counter reset from G2 has made the game longer and closer, which is always more exciting. FaZe, though, back on guns and back at this B bomb site. It seems to be a repeated plan for this T side. Body's pushed up on short. Quick boost coming through. Oh, this could be mistimed because Guardian's rounding the corner. Body's ready for it. Smith instead gets the kill, and they just fall off. Nice nade. That's going to chunk down Nico, and the smoke will hold him back. He can't push through that, or at least he shouldn't. That would be a risk not worth taking. And with a 5-on-3 right now, G2 are sitting pretty in this round. Nico attempts to get a kill through the smoke, but Shox' flank is all that they really need, and he's even killed Rain in the back line. This is just going to make everything worse and worse by the second for FaZe Clan. And Carrigan, nothing he can do there. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, leaving just Nico and the connector.
Yeah, 1v5 needed from Nico to go ahead and pick up a 13th for FaZe. I really don't fancy his chances all too much, I'll be honest with you. If anyone could do it, it's going to be this man on the screen right now. Wrapping round. The Bosnian Bloodhound trying to sniff out the opposition. Tagged up. Really not fancying it any more now that he's been brought down to 35 HP. He's going to go peeking into it. He wants to go down, redistribute the wealth. $11 to 12 though. Hugo, one away for G2 from equalising this out. There's no money here for FaZe. There's nothing, no hope in this round at the very least. You're going to be looking into the next. The only issue is you're handing G2 the opportunity to tie things up now, 12 to 12.
Dear oh dear, how the mighty have fallen. FaZe with a significant lead in the second half is definitely tapered off in the previous few rounds. Again, these Deagles, these blocks, these P250s. And G2 with an extremely passive setup for a change now. We've been seeing them flank and push ridiculous positions in the last few rounds, especially Shocks. He wants to get this game over with so he can head to the dry cleaners with his mouse pad. Body going down on long. It's going to be Smith's on the site, but Karrigan's already up here on the pillar. He's just circling around like a bit of a ballerina, but will Smith do the dirty dance? He's missing all his shots. Oh, it's so awkward. He finally gets it, but Shocks is here in the nick of time. Going to be able to deny a bomb plant if FaZe attempt to go for it as Shocks rallies up another headshot, leaving just Guardian in a 1-on-3, but no, Shocks has got his number. He is having a fantastic game, Harry. 23 and 17.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly is, right? You looked back at Inferno, it was very much him and Kenny kind of, you know, topping the charts. We had a few good rounds off from Body. Early on in this map, it was Existence, if you recall, he was top of the board. But it's kind of gone back to normality a bit more, I guess, with Shocks now reining it in. 12 to 12, all tied up. Hugo, the buys on the board here from FaZe. We have the AWP on Guardian, rifles for the rest of the gang. Pretty much everything we would come to expect from this buy. Olaf already spotted and tagged up over here towards B. This time, though, G2 looking for greener pastures. Going to be trying to clear out some ground over here towards mid. Oh, but keep your eye on Smiths.
This pushing is not ending here for G2. Smith's going to catch out one. Body was also peeking down Monster at the same time, so that was a very nice bit of synergy there from G2, and Olaf will not be able to do anything about that. So a nice pick taken for G2, and they don't even settle back, Harry. They're not happy with one kill. Look at Smiths, he's still hounding. He's been spotted by Karrigan all the way in the spawn, but hey, just him having this position is so valuable. It means that G2 know exactly where FaZe are, to some extent. They know that no one's outside B. They know that FaZe can only go for an A-side attack at the moment. And so that's why we see a third player rotated up to this A-bomb site. Kenny, yes, he may not need any support. He's already locking down another kill. We've had Smiths back off in the meantime, and that means FaZe are going back down through Monster, but this flashbang from Body is going to allow some serious dirty work. Smiths, again, another spray down, and 2 more kills to add to his tally. FaZe are just getting schooled.
Yeah, I mean, this was, it was looking like it was going to shape up to be the redemption of FaZe, you know, the turnaround. Oh, they might have had a couple of bad games this season, but at least they win this last one, and it's a nice note to end on. And now it started to turn so sour here in the latter stages of this second half. G2 about to be moving up into the lead. Taking a look at this scoreboard, I mean, it's been Rain and Nico really putting up the numbers.
157 ADR for Body. Dear oh dear. He's not even, you know, top fragging, and he's going off. He's 8 kills below Shocks, but ridiculous more ADR. That's impressive.
Those high impact assists is what it's all about, Hugo.
Big fan.
My favorite role in matchmaking as well. That's what I say. Don't look at kills, look at my ADR.
Detail as well. Smith shoots 1 bullet before the flash pops to make the 2 tunnel players look towards him and therefore get flashed. You see that a lot with when you self-flash. You can easily like right-click a flash or throw a flash wherever and switch to your gun and fire 1 bullet right before it pops. It draws the attention a lot of the time.
Kind of hits Smiths, but doesn't quite find the kill. Little cheeky game of whack-a-mole there. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm going to get one Guardian now charming with another. This is a much more interesting round for FaZe. Here's Guardian. He's looking awake. He's going to find himself a second Existence hopping down from the heavens, finished off by Rain. Well, it might be raining, pouring, but FaZe Clan certainly aren't snoring right now. It's going to be Shox in a 1v4, wrapping around from behind. That bomb goes down, and this is going to be a FaZe Clan round all day long. They're back with a 13th. They're tying things up. They're looking to try and make this competitive, but Hugo, you take a look at the money on G2. That's the real problem. These bank accounts are looking ridiculously inflated.
Shox is looking to crush the cash of FaZe Clan on the exits. Oh my god. Crisp and clean. 3 kills.
That's certainly not what you want, is it? I mean, there's so much money for FaZe. There's so much money for G2. They can pretty much look to buy now to the end of the game anyway. And now if you're FaZe...
That's horrible.
You've just thrown away... I mean, you would have had, what? I think it was 4 players surviving the Shox fights at the very end. By the way, 27 kills on Shox now, courtesy of that.
It's all since he spilled a drink on his mousepad, Harry.
Yeah, that's going to be the new thing. Before you see him play a line of it, he's going to be stood there, like, you know, undoes his can, pouring it across all of his stuff. But, yeah, I mean, this is... Did some good sound effects there. I hope you appreciated that. I don't know where that came from, but we're all tied up here. Now this is where, you know, all jokes aside, those deaths at the end of that round there are really going to come back to punish FaZe. You look at their buy in this round; it's already like a little bit limited on players. Like Rain doesn't have the utility you would have liked. Guardian lacking the head armor, which is really bad against the M4s. And then the bigger problem here, they lose this round now. There's no money for them in the next, so they're back onto an eco. And that's all because they threw those players away hunting down a man who, you take a look at, he's got $12,000 anyway.
Yeah, they didn't
money's
need
not
to
even
take
an object to Shox.
I mean, of course, like, they didn't know he was there, so once the first guy's pushed, the second guy's going to push the third guy. You know, they're going to try and trade, so it's no problem, apart from the final fight, which was unnecessary. All the others were kind of, you know, they didn't know he was there in the first place, and they were so grouped up. But yeah, still, regardless, ridiculous stuff has put G2 in a fantastic spot here to win this entire map. All they need, Harry, is this one round, and FaZe are broke at 14-13. Oh, Existence, the timing, he turns around, he does get one from the site, but can he yes in the toilets? He knows that Rain's on the other side, but does he know that Olaf is coming in from the back line as well? It doesn't matter. Rain's done it instead. Guardian wrapping around the back of the site, tags down Smiths on the prime, but he hasn't finished off the kill, and that's what matters. Nice flashbang from G2. Allows Smith to wide strafe, but only to his death, and body's been dropped as well. It is just the big old Coke Zero fan Shox with 3 kills to find at the back of the site. They don't know he's here just yet, and we've seen him do crazy things already. There's the first. Second player is full HP, but Rain's already tagged down in the toilets. The left wrap will be there for Olaf, and that'll be enough. So FaZe, they needed that round, Harry, and they are going to win it.
Yeah, if there ever were silver linings to walk away from that, that's going to be the one you look at if you're FaZe. I guess, you know, you set yourself up for a potential disaster, but at least you see it through, you sort it out. We've been commending Shox, but you know, then you look over on the FaZe Clan side, it's Rain, similar sort of score. I think he has 1 less kill, maybe 1 more, something like that. I don't know. I didn't see. Hugo's crunching the numbers. He's doing the details.
Yeah. There you go, 25, 26 kills, I think.
Yeah, that was it. 26, yeah, 27 for Shox. Couldn't remember who had more. But
that's pretty ridiculous.
14 to 13. There's a buy on the horizon for G2, if I remember from how much money they had. I believe they had enough to get a buy in here. The issue pertains to the next round. They're now in that same sort of situation that FaZe Clan were in. A loss here for them means that money, that whole buy gets called into question into what would be your match point round. So this one here, just as important for G2. Oh no, they're actually fine in terms of...
yeah, next round is going to be where the problems come.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Same can be said for FaZe. Neither team's good, so this is such a pivotal moment in this game of deciding who is the victor.
Yeah. The thing is, they have third round loss bonus, so on players like Smith, Shox, and Kenny, it won't be a problem next round. It's Body and Existence who are going to be feeling the heat. So even if G2 lose this round, if they can save 1 or 2 guns, that makes so much difference. But, of course, they're aiming to win it. Kenny boosted up. Oh, that's awkward. The missed shot from Guardian gives Kenny an opportunity. But, I mean, that's a fight you just don't need to take if you're Kenny. So he's not going to risk that. He's going to fall back to the site with his teammate. No commitment there from G2. And for their own good as well, because FaZe have 3 players on the other side of Long. Kenny goes back towards the toilets instead. And we'll just hold for the time being as FaZe set up their A execute. This smoke is going to allow them to push up all the way to the edge of Long, potentially even flash through it if they'd like to, because while it almost seems like they're smoking off their own part of the map, it gives them a lot of room to move down Long without having to face up against that AWP of Kenny S. Although, there is a gap in the smoke, so they've got to be careful with that.
There's one orc chiming in, but let me tell you, the Kenny going to be good for one as well. He's even got more aggressive, pushing down short. I'm not entirely sure they're ready for this. Harris, the man who's gotten on by him, that's going to be Olaf.
Oh no.
Here's that scope, and now Olaf is aware that someone lurks down towards the short position. They're going to start to progress on in. Kenny biting off a bit more than he can chew, overextending too far forward. Shocks. Yeah, from the truck, Smiths with one more. It's Guardian. Somehow this round started to fall apart for FaZe. 1v2 in 10 seconds after bomb on the back of Guardian, but he has to try and get it down. It's not going to happen as Smiths, through that gap in the smoke, picks up the equalizing round. 14-14 here. And this is the issue. You think about it as well. If that bomb had gone down, this would be a very different round. You'd have Olaf, Guardian. I think it was Nico as well would have had enough money to buy. We had 3 rifles heading into this one. Instead, it's just a collection of SMGs, the new and the old, UMP, MP5, couple of CZs here and there versus this buy on G2. They've gone for it, Hugo. But this means a loss here. They're forced buying into the next round as well. It's going to be even worse.
Yeah, this could come back to haunt FaZe. It's a big risk, but they're going to give it a go. Pistols, SMGs, not a rifle on the FaZe clan side. Smith is going to be jump spotting, and he sees all 3 players coming up with the bomb as well. That's so much info for G2. You can already see those rotations coming through, and Smiths will get a quick wallbang kill to make matters worse. Carrigan removed before he even spots a player, and Reigns tagged down to 30. So G2 already putting up a tremendous amount of damage at no risk to their own lives. I wouldn't jump again, but triple molly over for FaZe Clan. They've got a lot of utility in this round, but will it be enough to win them it?
Shock's trying to shut them down, but oh my goodness, Nico and Rain, they've gone ahead and found themselves 3. So this round's flipped on its head. Kenny comes rotating in with the AWP, but a missed shot onto the head of Nico. Everyone is tagged down low existence. 1v3, he had an absolutely phenomenal start to this map for G2. Now he looks to try and turn it back. Had the time back to that form. 1v3, there's a man close, and that's going to be Nico. He finds the kill. 15-14, map point here for FaZe. And it's been a real battle of the economy here towards the very end. That's going to be the ultimate decider. It almost feels like G2 having now to force in this situation. FaZe, in theory, everything is going their way. This should be where they pick up their first map tonight out of the 4 that we've seen them play.
Yeah, this is crazy to think that the FaZe are the one to on map a match point before G2. I mean, they've been the ones struggling to pull this second half back, but finally have done it and have broke G2 at the most important point. 15-14. And again, a force here from the CT side, but we saw it work for FaZe in the previous, so do not count G2 out. Overtime is a possibility here. Shock's tagged down early by the AWP of Guardian. Assistant still close to the toilets, but he needs to be careful. Because FaZe are beginning to work their way up through that party area in the meantime. Shock's just jump spotting long. Not committing to a wide peek there because he's only on 17 points of health, so one bullet would send him packing home. And now look at the slowdown of FaZe. It's been these fast burst executes that have worked out for them so well on this T side, but now the pressure really is here. 15-14, and they've slowed it right down. Of course, it's not a bad choice in the sense that G2 are the ones with the weak buy, so FaZe shouldn't run into a setup or a stack that they're not aware of. But could the slow pace of FaZe be what damns them here in round number 30? Triple setup on B for G2, no information on A, and FaZe are going for the full execute.
Here comes this push on in. They've put everything into this one. The wall of smokes goes down, cuts that site in 2. They're going to be a little bit vulnerable to these SMGs as they work the closer angles, and there's a wrap round coming in from Smith. The distance falls at long. He was someone we should have been keeping an eye on, but he doesn't get anything done, so that's it. Kenny falls. It's Smiths and Body left alive. It looks like FaZe might be finding their first map tonight as they hunt down the remaining players of G2. Only Body 1v5, and it's just not happening. FaZe going to be picking this map up now. They managed to split this series 1-1. It was very, very back and forth. 6-1 initially in favor of G2. And FaZe, they dig deep. They pick things up.
Yeah, that's an impressive win from FaZe. It's nice to see them actually come out of tonight with a victory, and yeah, as close as it was, well done from them to actually get away from G2's early start to that map. However, we are done for now. We're going to be throwing over to the premier minds of the CS room at the moment. It is going to be Chad and Trace.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, it does look like FaZe have just barely escaped the meat grinder today. Grabbing only one map, of course, is not exactly how you want this night to go, but nonetheless, they were able to do it here on Overpass. Chad, why?
One of those skin of the teeth type moments. I thought that Kenny, once he got that AWP up in the second half, was going to find a lot more impact, but realistically, it was just the multi-kills of Shox in pivotal rounds coming in. You could see a lot of the 3Ks from him. I think he probably had the most multi-kills in the server just with that impact. But realistically, FaZe won both pistols, right? This is a type of game in a best of one where mistakes are amplified. You're probably going to be expecting a little bit more out of FaZe Clan. I think that they're just going to be relieved to get this victory because this is well and truly more favored to the FaZe Clan than it is to G2.
And I guess rightfully so. I mean, it was a claw and tooth and nail ordeal for them all night. But at least some of the stuff I took from this this matchup alone was that, yes, Shox was on fire. He was blowing them all away. Yep. Kenny, though, had cooled off considerably from the map prior. But the Architect, he was on his game today.
All games tonight, Rain has felt like he's been contributing. And, you know, the thing is, they've only been home for 2 days, right? They've only been home for 2 days. And with that, a lot of recuperation needs to come in. We touched on it with the earlier maps in the night with Astralis. I just think FaZe need a couple of days off. Everyone needs a holiday every now and again, Trace. And these guys are no exception because we know they can play top-tier Counter-Strike. We know what they're capable of. I just think it's going to be a slow start for these guys into the season. When we do see them for week 2, when they do come back for ESL Pro League week numero dos. Do your Trace. Hey!
Yeah, I see what you did there, Chad.
They're going to be looking fresh. I think they just need a bit of time. I'm not too worried about tonight, really, and I don't think they should be. I don't think the fans should be. But realistically, in the context of this game, it's fantastic that G2 are able to put up a fight like this because we know they need to deepen their map pool. So with that considered, lots of highlights there. And Shox continuing to frag like a madman. 31 kills for that man.
I hate the term vintage this, vintage that, vintage Shox. But perhaps Shox making a resurgence here. We have seen Shox just be an absolute turret on no matter what map that he goes to. Yeah. However, in this scenario, he was just basically ripping them apart. Whereas, you know, if we look at the likes of the rest of the team here, we're not seeing anyone capping over 70, 75 ADR.
Well, this is where we spoke about, you know, the fact that in the last matchup, at least, both Kenny and Shox were having a good game. Now, I don't want to blame this on Kenny because by no means are they going to be able to carry every game. There's only one duo in the world which we've been able to see do that. That's Electronic and Simple. And even Simple had his moment where he dipped off. For Kenny and Shox to be able to do it consistently, the economy really needs to be put in tow so Kenny can get that AWP up. But as I mentioned, when he did get the AWP up in the later stages of that match, it wasn't his impact that was being found. It was the multi-kills of the riflers and namely Shox. Smith had his moments. Body had a couple too. It's just when your economy gets broken so late, like we saw happen, that B rush that went on in, they had the opening kill. Nico gets 2 with the MP5. Still seeing that weapon in vogue quite a lot on the force spy situations. Interesting to see. That's just when it kind of falls apart.
Well, even though you do see it a lot in the force buy situations, how about in the gun rounds when we see the MP5 come out? What sort of sense does that make, Chad?
I think like in a lower buy scenario, you can run and gun a little bit more. And if you're doing a full execute, especially if you're on the T side, you think about this, right? You could be popping the heads of unarmored opponents. I'm just think that it's just the novelty at the moment. I want to see how it pans out, but you know how the players are. Like something new, they like to try it a little bit. And it's obviously not a bad gun, but there's a lot of good SMGs out there. We know the UMP is very powerful. We know that people rocking that MP7. You've seen the likes of Chris J rocking that on gun rounds, the Mac 10. These guns here for quicker rounds all can be used. And maybe the MP5 at the moment is just in vogue because it has been reintroduced.
Well, it has been reintroduced, and there's a few things changing within the game. And we saw an update yesterday. Now we know the MP5 is in full-on play. Do we expect it to make a huge impact, and does it seem balanced to you at this point?
Look, it definitely seems balanced. It doesn't seem like it's bringing anything new. It's not an overpowered SMG. It doesn't have like 300 bullets and still does a heap of damage. It seems perfectly fine. And I think it's just brought in because the fans were talking about the MP5. And props to Valve for, giving something which people find interesting. It doesn't have any skins at the moment, though, does it?
Let's have a little bit of a B-Stream update right now, Chad.
Hit us.
Got a little bit of a golden nugget for you now, or just a nugget. Just depends how you look at it. We had an Astralis Space Soldiers match, right? And for what it's worth, it went 3-12 in the first half and the way of the Space Soldiers. Now, let's tie this into the second half where it went the opposing score. It went 12-3 in the way of Astralis. Bring us to an overtime. And my goodness, did that one go all the way. 25-21, ending in the rout of Astralis over on that B-Stream, in which now they've got to face off on Train, which will likely make them a little bit late here coming into their next matchup against Mousesports on Dust 2.
Indeed. We're going to have a bit of fill ahead of us, I think, as right now we're only 2 rounds into that Train map. Astralis taking the lead early on the CT side. You will be able to flick over to that one at live.proleague.com for all of your ESL action. But
nice, Chad.
Thanks, man. I can do the call-outs too.
It's not bad, you know. Sometimes you do it a little too much, or I should say it happens a little too much. It's probably my own doing.
Okay. Well, like I like teeing you up as well, so you can kind of knock them out the park.
Nice.
You went to a baseball game when we were in New York.
I did. And actually, it was fun explaining it to the likes of Henry, OJ, and Maniac.
Well, because like Henry and OJ used to cricket, which the ball has to bounce, and you get runs. You don't run in a diamond shape. You run back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, that whole cricket thing is just more like fake baseball, if you ask me. But that's not what we're here to talk about, Chad. We're not talking about cricket. We're not making the crickets chirp. In fact, no crickets will be chirping when you have an Intel Core i7 or i9 processor cruising for a bruising. You can see all the shots that you're missing in your favorite games over on those processors. Of course, Chad, is there anything closing that you would like to say about these two teams?
I just think that G2 are continuing to, I guess, grow. We did know it was going to be a slower process for this team. And once more, don't be too worried about FaZe Clan, all right? They're going to come back to their form. We know it's going to happen. You just need to allow them to have a bit of a rest. It has been a very up and down 6+ months for these guys. We had Chroman in there. We had Exist in there. We had Olaf out for personal reasons. Now we've had stuff going on with Carrigan. Let them settle. Let these boys just have a chance to breathe. And I think they'll be back maybe stronger than ever.
Well, that is hopefully the case if you are a FaZe Clan fan. And, well, from our waiver wire at least, we haven't heard any rumblings of any sort of roster changes. So don't get your hopes up. That's not going to be what solves the problem over there. It's hard work, dedication, desire, and discipline that really make all those things happen. The 3Ds, if you will. Either way, we're going to be going to just a little bit longer of a break. Tune over to the B stream and see where this matchup with the Straws and Space Soldiers is going right now. Currently 3-0, and Zipnix is putting a tear on them. We'll be back with our next matchup, Space Soldiers and Mouse on Dust 2, relatively shortly.